Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of The Aftermath. My name is Ian, and as always, I am joined by Dylan. Here we are, at last.
I couldn't contain myself.
I
had to do it.
I was considering throwing a little curveball and potentially going to see if we were going to watch a different movie this week. Right. So that way we can make you guys want it a little bit more for this finale part.
But it turns out I wanted it really bad.
It turns out that Dylan wanted it more, so you can thank him.
You had to skip the preliminary. Whole hog it.
Yeah, I'm going to go out there and do it. And here we are for our final part of the Bleach.
1,000-year blood war.
Yes.
For now.
So far, again, in case you guys are jumping in at this one, and you haven't been keeping up so far, the 1,000-year blood war series of Bleach is the finale.
Right. The final arc.
There's a volume 1 and a volume 2. And so far we have kept it because volume 1 has had 2 discs, volume 2 has had 2 discs. So we have allotted 4-part episodes dedicated to each one of the discs. Right. In those volumes. So this one being the 4th one, this is the last one of volume 2, which is
all in one sitting.
Which is the last of what we have currently, I think, in North America.
As far as what I own.
Right. I don't even think that, I mean, they may have it in Japan, they may have it around here, but I'm not sure if it's available in North America currently. Right. I could be wrong. So if volume 3 is available out here, you gotta let us know because we gotta get that shit on lock.
Send us a copy.
Send us by
whatever. Completely legal means.
Whatever it takes. So again, we have up into episode 26, I believe, which is that's all we have.
Yep.
And so tonight we watched episode 21 to 26. I think I misspoke on the last one. And I thought we ended at 21, but that was incorrect. We ended on 20.
Right.
So tonight we started 21 and then completed through 26. And
dude.
Oh man. I will say the first part of the first disc in set 2, I think, had some really crazy fights in it. It got really awesome.
Kenpachi came back. Oh, we got to see Yachiru in action.
We got to see some really good stuff. Personally, really like that. Not to say that I didn't like this one, but there was just a lot of diversity, and we got to see a lot of really cool side characters get really flushed out and some really fun stuff. But now we're getting into some more of the meat and potatoes here.
Oh yeah,
we're getting into the good,
the heavy
shit.
Hitters.
We're getting down to the Squad Zero type
and you
shit.
ain't seen nothing yet.
Man. And
just you wait.
There are so many phenomenal sequences, fights, and lines in this disc specifically. These 5 episodes. If I'm not mistaken, I think each one of the episodes is like something like 20, 30 minutes or so. Right. So basically 2.5 hours worth of content. Full feature-length film for us. Ooh, is it good?
Oh, yeah.
Started off with episode 21, The Headless Star.
Oh, man.
Kenpachi starts off. We get him lording over this brain in a jar, which we
fight with Grimmy,
which we didn't see anything of the brain after that.
Nope. As far as we know, it's just sitting there. So yeah,
oh, man. He then, as he's standing there lording over this brain,
some of his squad members meet back up with him. His immediate impulse is to start looking for Yachiru. Gotta find my fucking daughter.
Right.
And then whenever his squad mates get up to him, he's like, "Have you guys seen Yachiru?" I'm like, nah, sir, she's probably just wandered off again or something like that. And he's just like, go look for her. It was like, we can't even censor, man. What do you want us to do? Go look for her.
Everyone's like, yes, sir.
Find my fucking daughter.
Find her now. But then the Bambi squad shows up. I don't know what their actual name is or what they...
The whores.
Yeah. The four whores of the apocalypse.
Oh, God. Yep. Sounds about right.
We got T, which is Candace Catnip. We got
Oh my god.
we got Z, which is Giselle Guel or Jewel. I'm not sure how it's Giselle Jewel, I guess is how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
We got P, which is Meninas McAlon. Okay. And we got G, which is Lil Toto Lampard.
Yep. These fucking names, dude.
Yeah.
Candace Catnip.
Yeah.
That's easily my favorite one.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So the basic thing was we got T, Z, P, and G is what their letters are respectively.
Right.
And so they start going to town.
Oh yeah. Candace throws out a fucking lightning bolt right on top of Kenpachi, stunning him for the briefest minute.
He eats that shit.
Oh yeah. As soon as they start like moving in, of course, because they think that was enough to kill him.
Of course,
for some reason.
Yeah.
He fucking vanishes right behind them and just starts swinging.
Oh man, it's so good.
He even says, like, after his fight was finished, it's like, man, my fucking innards must have gotten messed up at some point.
Right.
I could barely hear a damn thing because of that fucking explosion.
Right.
So he's already got more than a couple handicaps going on right now. And he's still
wiping
just
the floor.
barely outmaneuvering these bitches.
Yeah.
But of course, he's outnumbered. And they do end up getting the upper hand.
Right.
Knock him down to the ground, strike him with lightning a couple more times, and he's down for the count.
Yeah.
Can still barely, he's like on his deathbed, right?
He looks toasted.
Yeah.
He looks crispy.
Well done.
Crispy. And then of course it says that Ichigo suddenly crashes down.
Oh yeah.
From heaven. Obviously he's been as
the 72-layer barrier between heaven and earth.
Literally blasting a hole in the dome over the Serete.
Yeah.
Blasting through, and everyone's like, huh?
What was that?
What was that?
A shooting star.
Yeah. He crashed down. And of course, he stands up, dusts himself off, and then of course, as you'd imagine, I'm thinking he's gonna be like, oh shit. He gets up and he's like, I came in a little too fast. I was like, no shit.
Yeah.
He's like, all right.
It should be said he's right in front of Kenpachi.
Oh yeah.
He's just completely bypassed the whores.
Really, exactly.
And it's like, man, what the hell's going on with you?
Yeah, come
You're
on.
all beat up.
Look at you.
Now, it should be said, like, during the series, Kenpachi has, through one means or another, just materialized to save Ichigo's ass indirectly or on purpose in a lot of his, like, tougher fights.
Yeah.
So, of course, with the roles being reversed, Ichigo's like, I never fucking thought I'd be saying this to you, man, but I'm here to save you.
Yeah.
So, after that point, Kenpachi's just having a laugh. Like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Oh, yeah. I love how the four stern, the Bambi gals, which again, at this point, Bambi's, for all intents and purposes, Bambi's dead.
Oh, yeah.
As far as we know.
Right.
There was this ominous scene that I was questioning in the last couple episodes going, I don't know what happened to her. And of course, we'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah. But they start going all Volsting dig or whatever it's called, and they try and lay a hand on Ichigo.
And
can't do it.
Ain't happening.
Ain't happening. They can't touch him.
Motherfucker is unfazed.
This isn't even my final form yet.
Right.
Type beat.
All you're doing is making me look cooler.
You're just pissing me off.
Right.
Yeah. So, anyways, they as they're trying to like waylay him, he's like, obviously he gets his eyes on Yuhabaha, which is now on like the tallest tower.
Right. Now that Ichigo's blown a hole through the fucking house wall, and he's able to bypass that 72-layer barrier because it's just going to be open for a while.
Right.
So he's taken this opportunity to get the fuck out of Dodge.
Right.
And make it up to his main objective.
And he has somehow collected this massive power to just this column of blue energy gets fired up into the heavens. And this is where we get the moment where Ichigo
finds out that Uryu is
Yeah.
Or rather, finally is able to confirm the fact that Uryu is with the rest of the Quincy's.
Right. And I love this moment where he's surrounded by not only by the four horrors of the apocalypse,
Right.
but he's also surrounded by the mustache guy with the gun,
Right.
businessman gun dad,
Right.
and the fire finger boy. And
Busby.
and a couple other ones or whatever. And so he's like surrounded, and of course he starts moving. They try to like get
just immediate, like I gotta get over
yeah,
there.
I gotta go. And they're like, the disrespect that you
Like,
just leave.
You must be dreaming right now.
Right. And Ichigo's like, I don't know. I don't got time for this shit.
He gets knocked around a good bit, still tries to make it over there.
Yeah.
But right before they're about to stop him again, motherfucking Renji,
Yeah.
the ride or die,
Stretchy
the
shoulder.
rightest and the diest
Yeah.
motherfucker you'll ever see, just has like, hold up,
Yeah.
y'all motherfuckers ain't stopping my boy right now.
Bruh. I love the dialogue. They get the sword stops between them, and they all stand there for a moment. And of course, Renji and Ichigo have a brief conversation where he's like, go ahead, man.
Right.
Do
I
your
don't know
deed."
what's going on, but you got a score to settle with that motherfucker.
Yep.
Go
Go
ahead.
do it.
He's all yours.
And of course, he tries to leave, and they try and stop him again. And then Renji stops and he's like, what did I say?
right.
I don't think you understand this. My boy's
Clean
gonna
the
get
wax
going.
out of them
Yeah.
ears.
So yeah, and that's kind of how that whole thing progresses. Because at that point, they start having this really sick fight where Renji now is starting to,
Oh yeah, keeping him at bay.
right.
Not only Renji,
Yeah.
but both of the Kuchikis,
Yeah.
Byakuya and Rukia,
Oh, so cool, dude.
along with Ikaku and I always forget this fucker's name. The dude who's obsessed with like beauty. I can't remember his name for the life of me.
Yeah.
But yeah, thankfully Ichigo's got some reinforcements.
The camera pans over and the whole squad pulled up.
All
We're
the
like, oh
warriors.
hell yeah! Look
It's
at
about
them.
to go down.
They're all posted up. And we get this. I mean, they start laying into them.
Oh yeah,
All the Stern Ritters.
mm-hmm.
A few of them, I thought they were dead. I think a few of them did die.
Oh yeah.
But as Ichigo like runs up to like the tower, he finally gets to see, and like there's this moment where he's like calling out to Uryu, and then
motherfuckers just stonewalling him.
yeah,
He pulls the bowstring
Yep.
back, and he's just like, he just unleashes a hailstorm of arrows.
right,
Nails Ichigo a couple times, and he's just completely out of it.
right. And then Yuhabaha says this hard ass line where he's like, this. What did he say? This farewell is like there will be no returning from this farewell.
Have you said your farewells?
Yeah.
It will be an eternal parting.
There you go. Be an eternal parting. Ooh, that's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So things ain't looking good.
Nah. They walk into the pillar of flames and get shot up into heaven.
But not before Chad. Motherfucking Chad.
Yeah.
As I like to call him, real name is fucking Sado, but
Yeah.
translated in the dub, they just call him Chad.
I mean, hey,
And that's just how it is.
he's Chad.
Who's gonna argue?
I'm not.
Right. So he and Orihime are able to bust through. They watch Uryu leave,
dude,
and then they're just blown away.
I love them.
Mm-hmm.
Chad, obviously, he just seems pretty. He seems like he's a guy,
The chillest, gentle giant you'll ever meet.
champ.
Mm-hmm.
And need I say anything
God.
about Orihime? I say
I feel as though I should stop you.
I shan't speak lest I sin.
Right. Exactly.
Oh man,
God damn. You want to talk about ride or die, bro?
that's what I'm saying. That's why I think I love her so much. She is quickly becoming my favorite.
Ray of fucking sunshine.
Love her.
No matter what.
Love her for multiple reasons, and I can think of two big ones right
Oh
now.
my God.
I will say,
You've sinned.
Dude, I've sinned.
You've sinned.
I have to speak on this because there's a moment when I told you
It's impossible. Them
there's
things
a,
be thangin'.
there's a
Her
there's
boobies
a
bouncing boingedly, bro. I
there's
can't. There's no denying.
You're saying more than I have. There's a moment where
I gotta get it out now.
There's a couple of times where she's on screen and it surprises me. I'm like, oh my God.
Right. I remember the first time I saw her get up, I was like, Jesus
Yes,
Christ.
great. Googly
Put
moogly.
something over there. Put those away. Jesus.
tell him to stop staring at my eyes. I'm like, oh my God, man. I think it's so, there's a couple of times where I chuckled because she just says something so nonchalantly, but it's like, God, what?
I can't take you seriously.
It startles me. I'm like,
sorry.
Wait, Jeebus. I can't contain myself when I'm in your presence.
Jesus Christ.
But there's a moment when there was a moment in particular where we were both talking, like I was making a comment about it, and I was just like, it's so
it's ridiculous.
You specifically said and we've said this about a few characters before.
It's just not fair.
It's just not fair.
It's insane.
It's just not fair. It's just not fair to the rest of the women out there. But anyways, I digress. Both Chad, Orihime, and like the whole squad out there, they're lovely. And they're, again, like you said, ride or die.
Giving them every opportunity they can.
I love them. And I wish to see them more.
Oh, yes.
So yeah, they post up as well, and they're like, hey, bud, we're all thinking the same thing you're thinking right now.
What the fuck's going on?
You're right. Chad even says like, "Hey, I'm
just as shocked as you are."
Yeah, just as shocked as you are. I don't know what the hell's going on.
But you got to think this is one of our best buds we're talking about. He had to have had his reasons.
Yep,
good ones.
He's been
at
with
the
us.
very least.
And of course, then Ichigo's like, "Yep, we're gonna take down Yuhabaha, and then subsequently we're gonna beat."
Beat his ass and drag him
back home. And in that order.
Right.
And he even says it a couple of times. He's like, yep, beat Yuhabaha, beat his ass, drag him home. It is what it is.
Right.
And I love that.
I think Chad at one point says, like, a part of me believes he may just be playing the long con to help us out from the inside.
Yeah.
And Ichigo's like, even still, we're going to beat his ass and drag him back home.
It doesn't matter.
And my point stands.
I said that I think in the last episode, at the last one, where I was like, we just don't know.
Right.
He's not budging, but he could be playing the strong game. So who knows?
Right.
But I love that. And with that, we are on to the next episode, and this is where shit gets really gross.
Oh yeah.
Remember how I said I talked up the what was the character's name? Osnot.
Osnot.
I hyped up that fight
for the fear fucker
for numerous reasons. Because it made me feel gross. It made me feel scared. It made me feel happy about family and like it just made me feel all the feelings. And I talked about how it felt. It was art in my personal opinion.
Right.
Hyped it up. These next few sequences made me feel uncomfortable in a different way.
Right.
And it was hard to find the silver lining in a couple of sequences because we'll get there.
Right.
We'll get there.
We cut back to a few of the captains and the lieutenants fighting off the Sternritters while Ichigo tries to make it to Yuhabaha.
Yeah.
And during which we cut to two of the lieutenants from Squad 11. Kenpachi's squad, who have got Giselle up against a wall at spear point, and of course she's playing it up like, "Oh, please don't hurt me. I'm not a fighter. I swear."
Yeah,
and they're immediately wise to her. Like, this is a
they call
everything.
They called all the bluffs right there.
Right. We got to look up this fucker's name. I want to do him justice.
Okay. Hold on. Let's see.
Right.
What is you said Squad 11?
Yes, one of the Squad 11 lieutenants. I know one of them's Ikaku, the baldy.
Let's see if I can spell it correct. Okay, 11th Division.
Almost has a bit of a bob cut with a couple of hair ornaments.
Yeah.
Fancy ass lashes.
Oh, you're right.
Motherfuckers Yasafari.
Kenpachi. Ikaku.
Right.
Yumi Chika.
That's who he is, yes.
Yumi Chika. And then there's a couple other ones. Makizo Go Te Taishi. I want to make sure I'm doing it. Hey, I want to make sure I'm doing it justice.
Enunciate.
Yeah. Go Te Taishi.
So yes, it's Ikaku and
Yumi Chika.
Yumi Chika. Okay. So Yumi Chika immediately says, Man, she's just trying to get us to fucking slice her open so that we could probably get splattered by her blood.
Yeah.
Obviously, that has no positive connotations whatsoever. At least that's the impression I'm getting.
Yeah.
However,
I'm feeling out.
You make it a little obvious, don't you think? In fact, let me just point out the rest of your monkey business real quick.
Yeah.
You're a guy, aren't you?
Oh, man. And I love
and she immediately
goes, huh? With like the dark circles, dark hash shading, like we were talking about.
Damn way, this motherfucker just found me out. And from that point on, you could tell he's pissed.
Yep.
So,
because now we know that she's a he.
Mm-hmm. Now, after that, he immediately calls out Bambi, who up to this point, like we said, thought she was probably dead. But
yep,
something much worse has happened.
Yes, and the thing is, you have said that. Mm-hmm. This is where I was talking about this. Okay, I gotta collect myself,
right,
because this is where things get sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
You had said specifically
mm-hmm.
that that what was done to her was far worse than death,
mm-hmm.
and she probably would have rather just have been dead.
Oh, yeah.
Because in that scene, to flash back a little bit, whenever Bambi's there
mm-hmm.
on her deathbed, and of course they're like, "Don't worry, we'll take care of you."
Right. It'd be so sad if you weren't around.
Right. And then she looks terrified and is like, "No, please, no." I was like, "It's scared." And then
right.
it don't. And then it cuts.
Mm-hmm. So we don't know what the fuck happened.
Right. And at that point, we don't know what Giselle's or Gigi's powers are. Mm-hmm. That's what they also call her, as Gigi.
But at this point, he's explained it
a couple times. Yeah, we kind of get an understanding.
We've seen it in action.
Yes, and now to see Bambi show up, and she is now zombified, because mm-hmm. that's what happens anytime a person touches his blood.
Right. Gigi's able to heal people regularly,
right,
just by gathering biomass and just
making
swooping that shit back on a gone limb. But it also.
It's like whenever Gigi's blood touches another person,
yeah, you become a thrall.
Yes. Oh, exact thrall. Mm-hmm. That's a good word.
Yeah.
And so whenever Bambi comes down and we see that she is zombified in a way,
not quite all there.
Right. It's like, oh, I began to see what you were talking about
mm-hmm.
by the fact that, like, oh, I see that.
That does kind of suck.
It is kind of worse than death to just be kind of a slave.
A slave, yeah.
To be a thrall to this
mm-hmm.
Psychotic character.
Yeah.
He kind of plays it up as like, he, but like you can tell there's something ain't right.
Oh, yeah.
No. Just once you peel back the surface just a little bit, you're like, something ain't right.
Mm-hmm. After Yumichika and Ikaku are exploded.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Trapped under a pile of rubble.
Yeah.
Gigi starts teasing him like, I don't even have to kill you for me to make you into zombies. All you have to do is touch a bit of my blood, and that's it.
Yep.
And then, as Bambi comes back down, she starts begging for a specific something.
So wait, before we're kind of getting ahead a little bit, because our what's our crazy man Mayuri.
He shows up after what I'm about to say.
Is that right?
Yes.
Oh my God! I thought he shows up right there, and then while he's just standing there, they're having this whole.
I mean, he was probably there while that was happening.
Okay.
He didn't speak up until
anyway, he makes a bit of an entrance, but there's this very, disturbing,
just uncomfortable.
It is disturbing, because Bambi is salivating, is
frothing at the gash.
Is whoa!
Absolutely disgusting.
Slow down. That was a bit.
That's what it is.
No. You're right, but wrong. But right. Is that she starts like absolutely begging, like please, and it gets to a part where it's like I need it. And at first there was oh God, I gotta collect myself. I'm freaking out. Because this is weird. It weirds me out.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? The mask or black
Mayuri.
Mayuri.
Mm-hmm.
Mayuri shows up, and of course we get to see his right hand companion again.
Right.
And I started asking about that and kind of making jokes about it. So as Dylan and I were just having a brief conversation, I was reading the subtitles as Dylan was describing their kind of relationship in a way. Mayuri and what's her name? Nemu. Mm-hmm. Kind of describing how that relationship, parenthood thing kind of came about.
Yeah.
so I was like I was splitting my focus between two very critical things. I felt like I was trying to learn more about,
which is fine because that whole dynamic I had mentioned doesn't like really play in until later.
Right.
But it's one of my favorite parts of his character.
And that's okay. And I the thing is, I asked about it, so I was really interested, and I was listening to you. But then I was realizing that
I was reading, I was just
yeah. The thing is, it's like as what I was witnessing and what I was hearing between the and again, like I've said before, my reading comprehension of subtitled anime has gotten better just because we've done it a whole bunch now.
Right.
At once upon a time, it was hard for me to like really watch the thing we're watching and read, like to read and comprehend what the subtitles are saying. At the same time, also appreciating the beauty of what I'm watching, because sometimes like I was having a hard time
just going back and forth.
Right. Because I was getting so distracted by how pretty the anime is that I'm like, then I have to like, but then I have no context for what's happening. I'm like, shit, let me read what's going on. And then sometimes they go fast. Anyways, I've talked about that ad nauseum on this show.
Right.
So, and this is where my confidence was faltering.
It's like, wait a minute.
Because I was
wait a fucking second.
I was really listening to what you were saying, and then as I was watching Bambi foam at the mouth and begging Gigi for something.
Right.
My first
never state what.
But the thing is that I thought I missed what she was begging for.
Yeah, it's like run it back.
So and
I gotta make sure.
And again and my first instinctual my knee jerk reaction was not what it actually was.
Right.
I thought that she was begging for the sweet release of death.
Oh.
So at first I was like, I felt almost empathetic while I was listening to your story,
right,
and also trying to read the subtitles, and I like I said, I thought I missed something key. So as she's like begging for it, and is like, please, I need it, and at a certain point in time, like collapses onto Gigi, and is like, and then there's like this whole sequence where she like slaps her off, and is like, you dirty girl,
pathetic,
and it's like is saying some like, you're so gross, all that stuff, and I was like, okay. Because then the context changed, where I was like,
what the fuck is this?
And then there's a certain point in time where I was like, we got to pause it. And I was like, and that's what I told Dylan, I was like, the whole situation with Nimu, run it back for me one more time.
Right.
We're gonna pause this. I want to listen to what you have to say.
I can only handle one of these at a time right now.
And I think I'm about to get, I'm hella confused by what's going on there.
Right.
Let me get the picture. So we run it back a little bit. Dylan describes to me with my full attention as to what's going on. I was like, hell yeah, that's pretty cool. Love that. We watched the scene again, and I'm like,
holy fucking shit. That's disgusting.
I was like, and then it clicked with me again. Oh God.
Yeah.
Whenever the other two lieutenants were making that jab that they thought that he was actually a he, I thought that was just a dig.
Right.
Because it's not like Asnot, where like he may look like he has long, beautiful hair and has a slim
long ass trench coat.
Right. Kind of
not really
slim,
able to make out any kind of noticeable figure.
Right. Massive.
Until you hear the motherfucker speak.
Exactly. And then you're like, holy shit, that's a dude. Yeah. But like anyways, that was a justifiable switch up where I was like, oh shit, it just was, I didn't know. You're very
first glance.
Exactly. Whereas this, it's like Gigi
plays the part.
It looks very feminine.
Right.
Has the hair, is very kawaii.
Has a matching voice.
All of it. Has all of it. And so whenever they were making that dig, I thought they were just like, I thought that they already were like one step ahead of Gigi. So they were like, not only do we know how your powers work, but we're also going to insult you because you're also like, you're like a cutesy girl. We're just going to be like, I think you're probably a dude also. Yeah. And that was just
playing it up pretty hard.
And that was just going to be like a little dig.
Right.
But then whenever this whole scene happens, when I was like, okay, whoa. Bambi has been, oh God, Bambi has effectively died, and Gigi has
quote unquote healed
her with her blood, which means that she's now a thrall of hers.
Right,
and then I don't want to say this because I don't want to get dinged, but is a I don't know how you say this, is a
slave with benefits.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
But yeah, and when I thought of that, because then there's also this moment where like, where Bambi's like begging and is like, is like, I'm sorry, or like all this stuff,
right.
and then Gigi's like getting kind of a sick pleasure out of it, and it's like, oh, and then Dylan was like, it's because Gigi's actually a dude, and I was like, oh, okay, pump the brakes.
Yep.
And at this point, I needed to go. I stayed pretty hydrated today. And we also had coffee, so like I had to take a trip to the bathroom like at this point in time. So I was like, pause it again.
I need a fucking
now that we are at where we are,
right?
Pause it again. Now that I've collected the understanding,
right?
I'm thoroughly
the unfortunate understanding.
I'm thoroughly grossed out, and I need to go take a waz.
Yep.
And of course, I got a headache because I was like, bro, oh god, what is happening?
Truly a fate worse.
And I was like, and then it all came back to me. You said that.
Yep.
You said she would have wished to died, and I was like, it all makes sense now.
Yep.
Ugh.
So.
Sorry,
Gigi has been thoroughly established as my least favorite character.
Oh, yeah.
A character that I absolutely love to hate.
But when the latter exposes Giselle as being a male crossdresser, they are angered and summoned the semi-conscious undead
Semi-conscious?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Bambi Etta. Yep, there you go. I was reading the little Wikipedia description here, and I saw that. The words male crossdresser stood out as if they were glowing on the page here.
Right.
So yeah. So yeah. So now let's just all take a big breather there for a second.
Right. And
yeah.
Interstate.
Oh yeah. Here's
one of my other absolute favorite characters, man.
Oh man.
Motherfucking Mayuri.
Yeah.
This dude.
He is scary.
He is the epitome of mad scientist / evil genius.
Dude, his big eyes, his big
piercing eyes,
his big old teeth,
stark painted face,
his big square teeth,
the golden grill, bro.
Bruh. He scares me in this episode. There's a couple times where like he's just like smiling, like a clown.
One of my favorite fucking lines is after he confronts Gigi.
Yeah.
He asks, now, here's a question for you. Where's the fun in controlling someone with no free will?
Yeah.
And he's like, I wouldn't know. I'm not a sadist.
No,
and I'm like,
man.
bull fucking shit.
Bullshit.
After what you've done.
Oh, yeah. You've done some gross ass shit.
But that's the best part. Mayuri is borderline worse.
In the
best way possible. Because he absolutely deconstructs the motherfucker at this point, man.
Oh yeah.
He's
I love how like she like throws Bambi like throws her bombs, and he gets Nemo to like throw out these like spheres that
just
like
these little capsules that capture these projectiles. And immediately Gigi's like, why aren't they blowing up? And as they're falling towards them, they fucking explode.
Yeah.
Like they should have regardless.
But now closer to Gigi and Bambi.
Right. This motherfucker Mayuri has been able to make a countermeasure for damn near everything if given enough time.
Right.
Including these projectiles.
Yeah.
So he's made these capsules that pause the explosive effect of these things for however long he decides is needed.
And as they were flying away, she was like, how long you want? And he's like, 3 seconds.
That ought to do.
That'll do.
It's like, what the fuck?
I love it.
Yeah. So already you know, like, oh, this motherfucker's about to wipe the floor.
Hell yeah.
But no, he wouldn't go so far as to, as to kill them per se. He wants to keep them alive so that he can experiment on them.
Right.
Do as he pleases. But after hearing this, Gigi counters with, all right, you say you want the two of us to be your little lab rats, huh? But which two are you talking about? And she brings forth the army of zombies that she's created since she came along with the invasion. Yeah. Now, they're all Soul Reapers.
Yeah. Just all the random Soul Reapers that has died.
Now, normally, this would be a moral conundrum, having to fight your previous allies as shuffling corpses.
Right, exactly.
But
he's like,
as Mayuri describes it, I'm just a big ball of kindness with a spinal cord growing out of it, so I couldn't possibly have it in my heart to kill my former allies. Which is why I've brought an insurance policy for just such an occasion.
Yep.
And he has resurrected these
Sexta Espada?
4 wrong cars.
Yeah.
That have just been completely under his control this whole time. And he's now busting them out so they can do his dirty work.
Dude.
It's the fucking funniest shit. Because he personally has no qualms with doing this. So we think. I'd like to think deep down he really doesn't want to have to kill his previous comrades and shit.
But at the same time, it's probably whatever.
He does not leave much to the imagination as to how he feels about this shit.
Right.
He jokes about it, for Christ's sake. So, as they're taking care of business, he's just it's just one quip after another. He's just fucking destroying this bitch. Now, having run very low on options, Gigi decides to bring out the big guns.
Mm-hmm.
And we see a zombified Hitsugaya.
Yeah.
As one of the captains.
And that's the ice guy.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, I was kind of sad. I was like, shit. So that means that he at first we think that whenever he was fighting the fire guy and then eventually Iron, I think was his name. Mm-hmm. At the end of it, I remember
he's able to crucify the Iron.
Yeah.
In a just a big ass ice cross.
Right.
But shortly after collapses on the rooftop.
Right.
Now, after that cuts away, before it cuts away, rather, we see a shadow step over his body.
Yeah.
This, of course, being Gigi. So, from that, we're able to gather that he was zombified.
Right.
Now, normally, this would be a roadblock. I mean, he's a fucking captain. That's one of the strongest things you could fight right now, aside from Ichigo or Yuhabaha.
Yeah.
So, Mayuri immediately goes on the offensive, but not before one of his Zoronkars is cut down.
Right.
Unceremoniously. I love it. How he says to this fucker, couldn't you tell he was a cut above, man?
Mm-hmm.
As punishment, I'm going to let you sit out there, right there and bleed out.
Crazy.
So, they clash swords.
Yeah.
And normally in any situation we see this fucker and he's a lab rat. Yeah. He is stuck in his lab for as long as possible. Pretty much all the fucking time. Just experimenting on shit. Working up all sorts of crazy machinations. But because of that, he's able to, like I said before, develop countermeasures for damn near everything that comes his way.
Yeah.
Within what feels like minutes even. But as he's clashing swords with Hitsugaya, he has installed some sort of fleshy growth just above the hilt of his blade that is able to automatically deflect any strikes that come his way. So, Hitsugaya decides to counter with a Bankai. And he subsequently vivisects Mayuri.
Yep.
But after that happens, we just go back a few minutes, and it's back to the beginning of the fight. And dude, the work up to this was fantastic, by the way. It's it's laughable to see this. Hey, tell you what.
Right.
I've got some new drugs I want to test out. You'll take them, won't you? Completely harmless, mind you. It's for the good of the Serite. It's fine. So, as this fight is happening again, Hitsugaya starts to notice a bit of a familiar sensation.
Mm-hmm.
And as he's killed Mayuri for what we see as 2 more times after this point, he starts questioning what the fuck is going on here?
Dude, I love this because it starts to get really trippy because again he dies and you're like, oh shit, that's crazy, and then it pops back and he says Groundhog Day.
Oh yeah,
he pops back up and says the same thing about I hope you don't mind if I test some drugs out on you, and then he's like, huh? And then of course he's like, oh, you're starting to question something, aren't you? And then of course it plays out again, Mayuri dies again, and of course he's like, "Oh, you really are strong." And then he pops back up, and he's like, "I hope you don't mind if I test some drugs on you." And he's like, "Huh?" And he's like,
"What the fuck is going on here?"
You actually can hold a conversation.
Yeah.
I'm starting to learn more. My studies, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's having the time of his life right now.
Yeah.
So, as he starts to explain, now that Hitsugai has taken notice,
yeah,
we find out that he has been injected with a drug that allows him to revisit the past, as Mayuri words it.
Yeah.
He's able to put constraints on this, like, rewind effect, where if he is killed, it just starts the fight back over. It's like just to continue for all intents and purposes from a checkpoint.
Right.
Now, he says after the 10th time, you're basically going to start feeling side effects that include full body paralysis.
And this is where it gets real.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah. So he starts like really just laying into it. Like,
yeah,
now that you're in this state, it allows for my follow-up observation.
Yeah.
So now I can test out this other drug on you and see how it affects you.
Yeah.
Now,
dude,
while he's doing this, he's able to inject Hitsugai, and it appears to be a very painful process.
Yes. He starts screaming, and dude, Mayuri's just like standing there, just like blank faced, and he's just like right. And it's like he
like
just
bloody
doesn't,
murder,
not even caring.
But after this, we see 3 more zombies
right
come to play, 2 captains and a lieutenant,
bruh.
So,
dude, and there's a couple of sequences where Mayuri he's still wearing this glowing garb.
Oh yeah,
he's got that
the gaudiest getup known to man,
bruh, and
the sun god,
right. And all he has is this little circle face.
Right.
and
the people.
Oh, dude, and I'm telling you, man, there's a couple of moments, I don't remember quite where it lands, where like he's standing there and he like it's almost like a played up scene where like he's larger than life and he's got like his glowing smile,
right, that's all you
and his
see.
big old eyes like Cheshire Cat, and he's like sitting there like, hey,
right,
you're mine now, and I'm like, I'm terrified.
Yeah,
it's like, dude,
it's the best.
Yeah, it's real crazy.
The way I described him, I don't know if I had mentioned in the previous episode, but it's like having fucking Frieza on the same team as you.
Right.
The most
which is
evil,
funny.
like sadistic motherfucker you can think of.
Which isn't he the
that
same
is on your side.
Isn't he the same voice actor as
Yes,
Free,
it
which
is.
makes sense.
It's perfect.
How apt. Dude.
It's the best.
Whenever the other lieutenants come up and we get to see that, like, not only is it just what was the guy's name, the white haired guy, the captain that just got drugged up, Itsugaya. It's not just him, but it's the other ones that fought and kind of got bested in the previous episodes to see that they've also been zombified in a way. It was kind of like a hit in the gut, like, oh yeah. Damn. But then like it kind of jumps around to like some other events that happen. Once it comes back, they've also been bested and or have the drug administered into them. And we get this.
It starts going through his whole diatribe explaining how the drug works.
Yeah.
And how he's able to just completely subvert Gigi's control over her own zombies and make them his own.
And dude, there's a hard line. There's a hard line where he's like, you've been bested.
You lose, zombie girl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you lose, zombie girl.
Immediately, like, stabbed straight through the abdomen.
Yeah. And so, again, at that point in time, we think that she's dead. But obviously, again, if she doesn't die on screen, then
who knows?
If we don't see her die, it didn't happen.
Right. Complete
him.
Vaporization is a requirement to think that someone is actually dead.
Yeah, right.
And even then, it may not even happen.
It just depends.
Right.
So I think at this point in time,
Byakuya is
right.
We cut to his fight between these 3 Sternritters, and he's just like, I mean, it's not even a contest. He's wiping the floor with these dudes left and right.
And this is where the other 2 girls come into play as well. So now I can't remember what their names were. Candace and
Right, it starts off with
Lolata.
Candace fighting Byakuya first, along with
Lil Toto, yeah,
right, Gundad,
yeah,
and
yeah.
what I like to call DJ Professor
Yeah.
from Jet Set Radio because he looks straight out of a fucking Jet Set Radio game.
Yeah,
But he straight up
his
slices that fucker.
His
in
name
half.
was I'm sorry, I just want to make sure I get this name right.
Mm-hmm.
His name was Pepe Wakabrada.
Oh no, he comes in later.
Really?
Mm.
Who are you talking about then?
The guy with the crazy ass hair.
Yeah,
and
with the checkered teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. That you're right though.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
Oh yeah. So he's all but defeated all three of these people.
Oh yeah.
And then motherfucking Pepe shows up.
Yep.
Revealing that he has taken control of one of the lieutenants.
Yep. He's the love master.
Right.
His letter is L, and he has a way of like making his hands into a heart and like zapping them with the
Fires
love
a
beam. And they love him, and now of course at that point
do whatever
they
he
fight.
says.
So I love we get his initial like entrance by way of one of the lieutenants walking up and going, "Man, I can't believe that the captain
He already took out
three of them, and I had a hard time finding one of them."
Yeah,
that's probably the difference in strength between the captains and lieutenants. That's crazy.
So already it seems like he's somewhat aware.
Yeah, he seems normal.
Yeah, but then as soon as he starts getting closer, Byakuya like takes a swipe at his blade.
Yeah,
and he's like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah,
he's like, "I could ask you the same fucking thing. What the fuck are you attacking me for?"
Right.
So
he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about," and he swings at him again.
I'm just doing what Master Pepe wants.
And it's like,
and at that point, we're like, "Oh,
who the hell's Pepe?" Because at that point, I think there's also a moment where before, Lil Toto,
is asking about him, like, where the fuck is he?
And she can't stand him. She's like, "Oh my god, don't tell me he's around." Yeah. Dude. Crazy.
Oh yeah.
He ends up showing up, and it's like, oh my god, what is happening? He's got an eyeball staff, and
that's right. We find out he's able to take control of anything that has a soul,
right?
Which of course includes Sanpakto.
Yeah.
So after Byakuya deflects one of his beams with a sword slice, his own sword takes a cut out of him.
He's like, oh shit!
So he's like, I'm gonna just throw this shit against
the wall. Yeah, get this out of here.
Yeah. So then the lieutenant, who we thought was incapacitated, just grabs that shit out of the wall and is about to use it against him.
Yeah.
But oh Jesus, what happens after that?
There's like a whole back and forth between, where he if I'm not mistaken, like there's a moment whenever he when is the moment when he hops off of his hover thing and he removes his...
becomes a cherub.
Yeah, he becomes...
That's after their exchange when Byakuya is just running straight defense.
Yeah.
And it's just like, he's like, I'm going to have to bust out the big guns.
Yeah.
So he...
At this point in time, Pepe has also gotten the other Stone Ritter girl.
Right.
So she... is also like fighting for his side. There's a bunch of like deflections of like that kind of stuff.
He's decided to just pit everyone against each other so that he comes out on top.
And there's a certain moment whenever he gets hit on the back of the shoulder,
and it just doesn't fucking
do anything. Work. And he's like,
"Is there no love in your heart for me?"
Yep.
And that's when he makes the transformation.
Yes.
And dude, it is repulsive.
It's gross, really.
After he's finished, he's like, "Have a look at this. I'm as innocent as a baby now. Makes you want to love me, huh?"
Nope.
I'm like,
gross.
It's gonna be a hard pass for me.
He's turned into a big old Cupid,
right?
And not in like a cute little way.
Oh no, like a fat old man with a beard.
Yeah. There ain't nothing more gross than a fat old man in a diaper flying around. That shit doesn't really cut it.
Can't say that does it for me.
Yeah.
So after that, he pulls his bow and arrow out of his mouth.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Disgusting.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Disgusting. There you go. Found it.
And right before he's about to fire, he gets like roundhouse kicked in the face.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Who is it? Who the fuck kicks him?
Was it Lil Toto?
No.
Or who are you talking about?
Whenever
Was it the other lieutenants that have been cured? Before we get
it was one of the captains.
Before we see them get cured, they come in and they now have like triangles on their eyes, even though they're still zombified, and they kick his ass. And then, of course, that's when we get the flashback sequence when he's like, this is what happened, this is how I cured him, and that whole situation happened. So there is this kind of like back and forth that takes place. But at that moment,
Byakuya starts giving him the business.
It's like, how in the...
You could have just let him die in peace. Why the fuck are you toying with their bodies, man?
Yep.
And he's like, oh, don't you believe members of the 13 Guard Squad should serve the Serete even after death? And he's like, that's just a fucking rationalization, bro. He's like, say whatever you want, bitch. And it's just like he's fucking done at that point. Like he's finished. He tries to take control of one of the zombies, saying that my power of love is stronger than Gigi's ability. I've even been able to take over one of her zombies before.
Right.
Before he's able to finish that sentence, of course, he's fucking socked in the face again.
Oh, yeah. Hard.
Yeah. And then Myri claps back with, motherfucker, I just finished explaining this to one of your other bitches.
Yeah.
And he's like, my ability subverts all, man. I'm a cut above.
Yeah.
So he is pummeled to smithereens.
Yep.
And after he's down for the count, he starts...
Dude, there's a moment where he awakes in the rubble and tries to beg to Lil Toto to spare him. Right. And she just consumes him.
Chomps that motherfucker.
Yep. As revenge for his backstabbing.
Gone.
And at this point, at the end of this episode, we get Yuhabaha
making his way to the Royal Palace.
And Uryu finally make it to the Royal Palace, and they are now standing there at the front.
Right. So we think.
And that marks the end of both parts of the marching of the zombies.
What a fucking ride, bro.
Dude, oh my gosh.
This cemented Myri as one of my favorite characters the first time I saw this, dude.
Yeah. And I think at a certain point, at some point, Lil Toto, I don't even know if that's how I'm properly pronouncing it, but who knows. Yeah. She ends up, I think, taking out the pink one. Meninas or whatever.
She said she had to put her down.
Yeah, which is because again, Pepe apparently made her fall in love with him. Right. I don't know how that whole thing works out, but so now there's even less of the Bambi gals.
Right.
The horsemen.
We down to 2.
Yeah. Just, I mean,
2.5. Right.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So yeah. But then we get to the next episode, which is Too Early to Win, Too Late to Know. And we get, at the top of this episode, we get a flashback for, is it Ichibe? Is that what is?
Right.
Is that how you pronounce his name? Okay. The head honcho of Sector 0.
Right.
We get, this is where things start to ramp up real crazy. And I don't want to get into all the details of all the fights and everything because there's one.
We're gonna run up our time
because there's one in particular. And the thing is, we have some time, so I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that there's one person in particular I want to highlight because oh my God, he has cemented himself as my favorite character. So we get this flashback between Ichibe and young Yuhabaha.
He initially went there to propose a non-aggression pact.
Exactly.
Just let us oversee the 3 worlds, keep that balance in check.
Right.
While you can continue your Quincy unification, and we won't mess with you.
Yeah.
So, of course, Yuhabaha ain't having none of it.
Yeah.
Starts getting all high and mighty, I'm sick of this fucking world.
I see your deception,
rules.
yeah.
I'm gonna tear it all down. So,
and he says that, and he questions why the Soul Reapers enslaved the Soul King, a godly being, Yuhabaha's father, and forced him to separate what was once one realm.
Already, hell of a fucking bomb to drop.
Yeah, that's pretty hard.
The supposed head of the entire Soul Society is Yuhabaha's father.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
It says that he separated what was once one realm of infinite life into the realm of the living.
Mm-hmm. Gave
Hueco
people the
Mundo
fear
and
of
the Soul
death.
Society.
So
Yeah.
He's pretty dissatisfied with the current state of being.
Right.
And is just out to put an end to it. Forever.
Yeah, right.
Just remake the world anew. Big aspirations.
Yeah.
Right? Hell of a goal.
Right.
But Hoyose ain't having none of it. It's
yeah.
Yuhabaha's like, you speak to me as though I'm an ignorant baby.
Oh, man.
And it's like, well, I didn't mean to necessarily, but I ain't going to deny that that's fucking true. So, Yuhabaha tries to clap back with, I can see through all this shit. And motherfucker's like, you sure about that?
Yeah.
Yuhabaha's got Hoyose by the arm.
Yeah.
And starts like trying to infiltrate his body with his fucking blut.
Yeah.
What looks like his blut vein, which was described as a defensive ability at first. I'm assuming one of his crazy abilities is that he's just able to infiltrate whoever the fuck he decides using this ability. But before that's able to happen, Hoyose just stops it.
Right.
Like point blank. Puts his crazy ass pupils back to normal.
Oh, yeah. And he's like, you will not be able
You're
to see.
You're fucking sealed, bitch.
Yep.
I'm taking your eyes away.
Before that even happens, there is another hard line that I love. I would love to use in like character development.
Oh yeah.
Like for a story somehow. Because the Ichibe like has such a one of his, I think, strong powers is the power of words.
Right. He's able to like dictate names.
Yeah, names and stuff like that.
While he was training with while Ichigo was training with him, he describes that he was the one who cited the terms and names for each abilities, like Zanpakuto, Bangtai, Shikai, all sorts of crazy shit. So already, like, other than just being the progenitor of that naming convention, he's somehow able to control them as well.
Right.
Through some means or another.
Right.
Which is fucking insane.
Yeah. But the thing is, like there's a line that he says. I don't remember exactly what it is that he says.
Don't say my name so lightly.
Yeah. Don't say my name so lightly is hard.
Oh, yeah.
In the context of what's happening, because, again, Yuhabaha just kind of like says his name casually, and he almost says it like, put some respect on my name whenever you say it. Don't just throw that shit around.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, ooh, that goes hard. Especially for a character like him who's like, has the power of names.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, yeah, whenever he's like, don't say my name.
Don't
so
be throwing
lightly.
that shit out.
That's important.
Yeah. And, dude, while Yuhabaha has Ichibe by the arm, the arm he's got is like outstretched palm open.
Right.
We see an eye with two pupils on each corner.
Just like his.
Just form in his palm.
Yep.
And after he's sealed Yuhabaha, he says, do you really think I'd let you have the Soul King's arm so easily?
Yeah.
He's just got the fucking Soul King's arm.
Right. Which is crazy.
Yeah. Because in the few times we've seen the Soul King,
right,
what we believe him to be, he's a corpse.
Right.
Or at least it looks like it. He's a quadriplegic stuck in a big-ass crystal with these crazy, like, multi-pupil eyes.
Yeah.
So we're left to gather that through some pact or what have you, he is in possession of one of his limbs.
Yeah.
Which I believe they're able to just act as extensions of the Soul King's will. But that will be elaborated more as
right as we go along.
We're able to get more episodes under our belt.
Have you read beyond what we've watched?
I've finished it. Yes.
Really?
Yeah. Dakota let me borrow his volumes. He's got on Playbooks.
Damn.
Once we caught up to where they were as far as they animated, I was just able to finish like the rest. And there's not much left, man. They're getting real close.
So you know how this all ends so far.
Yep.
Are they doing a third and a fourth one, or do you think they'll be able to do that?
I mean, they probably are.
Okay.
I mean, if that's what they say online so far, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. There's enough of it left over that they could put out 2 more Blu-ray. volumes.
Okay. Makes sense. That was what I was curious about. You said not that much left, and I was like, enough to make potentially
Right.
another 10 episodes or 20 episodes, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, dude.
From aside from what we've seen already, there are 14 other episodes out right now for the anime. At
Yeah.
least I'm pretty sure.
I wonder how much is left. That's interesting. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're starting to get some real development here, and this is where we start to where our successors and Yuhabaha are about to invade.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of back and forth between what happens down on the surface world, and of course they try and launch Ichigo, and the rider dies up in a rocket,
Right.
and all that stuff that happens.
Yoriichi
Yeah,
has
dude.
arrived.
So
The motherfucking best in the whole series.
who is that?
It's the fan favorite that the guy mentioned in the last comment, or in the other one of his comments. He had mentioned waiting for her to show up.
Who is that?
The tan girl with the purple hair.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah,
Orange get up.
not too bad.
One of my
Yeah.
absolute favorites.
Really,
Mm-hmm.
I guess that I just didn't really get a whole lot of screen time with her. I don't know who she is. So.
Right. She's only showed up in a couple scenes so far, based on what you've seen.
What makes her a fan favorite?
Oh, you'll see.
Okay.
You wait.
Okay. Because I right now I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time finding anyone else to be my favorite besides Orihime. So
I mean, I'm not gonna blame you. I'm just saying.
yeah. Right now, there's a difficult number one spot, and
Right.
it has to be Orihime.
That's a hell of a level to beat.
I'm just saying. So, anyways, there's a handful of people that show up. Anyways, just to kind of say that they launch them up in a rocket, and of course they're trying to get
Right.
up
on
to
their way.
up to heaven, basically. I forgot what the technical term is for that.
Right. The Royal Palace.
Or yeah, the Royal Palace. That's what it is. So okay, here's what I wanted to get to.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Yuhabaha. I had to collect my thoughts.
Right.
Yuhabaha then summons his
Royal Guard.
royal guard,
Mm-hmm.
and it's 4 of
The Stern Ritters.
Stern Ritters,
Mhm.
3 of which we haven't seen before. One of them we saw that was down on the ground. He kind of made a comment about I got to prepare myself because I may get beamed up any minute now, and he did. And of course he makes a comment. He's like, "Oh boy, here we are."
Right. What an honor.
What an honor. So now again we have a different level of hierarchy, which I think is really cool, and they have some really cool designs for these guys. There's one dude, I forgot what letter he is, but he is he looks like Thor.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the winged helmet. He's got just he has a red cape, not affixed to any breastplate, just affixed to his shoulders,
Pinned into his own body.
into his own body. And he's got a sword and a shield, and boy, does he look cool.
Oh yeah, classic hero type warrior.
I 100%. I'm I'm here for it. He looks so badass.
Oh yeah.
Got a sniper dude.
Oh
got
yeah.
a cloaked
The X.
figure. Yeah, the X, dude. Oh, so good. I love all the letter conventions with all the different all that kind of stuff. I think it's so cool. But yeah, I'm trying to look at some of these notes to see if I'm missing something.
Right.
Yeah. So, anyways, they basically have this whole what is the lady's name that with the the spider arms? I forgot what her name was.
Oh yeah. Names are
Yeah.
now.
I was trying to look around here, so I can't find it. That's okay.
Is there a picture?
Is there a picture? So she's the one to meet them, greet them upon their entrance, and there's this whole
Great
back
Weaver.
and yeah. Oh, dude, so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I love her character.
Love their
design.
fucking titles.
It's so good.
Mm-hmm. We got the Blade God, the Hot Spring Demon,
Oh my god, dude. Okay,
the
so
Grain King.
yeah, who is the Blade Master guy?
That would be
Let me
Oetsu.
see. Oetsu, okay.
Mhm.
Because
Funk Master Fresh, I like to call him.
Bruh. I
The
love,
number 1 Zanpakuto creator.
dude. I loved this guy when he first showed up in the previous episodes, and now I love him even more.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's this whole moment where they start to fight the Eternal Weaver lady, and she's letting him have it.
Oh,
and there's a moment where we get some real understanding about some characters' abilities, and she ends up getting killed.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're like, oh shit, like this is crazy. Like maybe that
I took a little off the top.
A little bit's an understatement.
Right.
Domed her.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, like in a crazy like turn of events, like the almost like banners around like around the area that they're standing on all like move away, and as they float up, they're in like a fake area, and it's like holy shit, psych, you're not actually
cage match, bitch. You thought you was at the Royal Palace? Guess again, motherfucker.
It's over there. And I love that. But then this is where we get like the rest of the Sector Zero people coming together.
We finally get to see them all in action.
And it's so, dude, these fights are so beautiful. They're like,
Gorgeous.
It really shows
for the eyes.
It shows like the effectiveness of both sides. They're they both are getting like knocked down a peg, and of course they get.
I described it before as like a constant tug of war.
Yeah.
Everybody busts out their super secret ultimate techniques, which are then countered by another super secret ultimate technique.
Yeah.
It's just a back and forth, but man, I'm here for it. The spectacle of it is enough for me.
Yeah. The one thing I want to talk about just briefly is some of the things that kind of go back, that go on back down at Earth.
Yeah.
We get to see the Wolfman again, very briefly.
Right.
Which I thought was kind of interesting and nice to kind of see that he's still alive and, and well. He walks
still
away.
Kicking.
But then we get another really concerning bit.
Yep.
I just have to bring it up because it grosses me out.
Yep.
And it really paints a picture to who Gigi really is.
We see that
Gigi is absolutely sucking the blood out of Bambi.
Right.
And it's really gross.
She's able to use the zombies that Gigi makes to heal himself.
Give me back my blood.
Right. And it is, in this instance specifically, we've never seen this done before, but it is fucking disturbing.
It's disturbing, and then whenever Bambi starts begging, like, please, like, slow down, I don't want to die.
Right.
There's this switch that flips in Gigi, and this is where I'm like, this is that, like, the true level of the character shows up.
Straight up psychopath.
She's by herself with her slave, and there's no facade anymore.
Right.
And this is where I'm like, this is where I get really uncomfortable. Because then she like begins to
grabs her by the head and just repeatedly.
Oh, how many times do I have to tell you?
You're already dead.
And it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Absolutely
detestable.
And then, so then at that point, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Bambi's like dead.
It definitely seems like it.
Is what it seems
she
like.
ain't moving no more.
No. And it's like, and then of course, this is where like Gigi like begins to like her blood ends up like pooling all over the place. Gigi starts like touching it and is like, oh my God, thank you. Yeah. And then begins like, I love you. Oh my God, I love you so much. And is like praising her for being like, oh, you always help me out.
You're
so much.
Cute.
And it's like, oh my God. It makes my skin crawl.
Yeah.
I hate it. And not like in a special artistic way, but in like a, oh my God, I am disgusted.
Right. I hate this character.
I'm having a visceral reaction towards this character. And then but then we get this moment where like to kind of jump back up to what's happening back up top. Again, they're having this constant tug of war with these like super great characters, and it's so awesome. But then there's also this kind of tug of war with Ichibe and Yuhabaha.
Right. Yuhabaha has thrown one of his badges just outside of this cage.
Yep.
And just teleports himself out.
Right.
No issue. So, thankfully, Ichibe has stayed behind at the main gate.
Right. Just chilling.
Right. And it's like, Yuhabaha's like floating in front of Ichibe. It's like, you gonna let me pass, motherfucker?
Yeah.
He claps back with, didn't I tell you not to say my name so lightly?
Yeah.
So this motherfucker gets up, grabs his big ass brush, draws a couple lines, and he says, "From here to here, that's about the distance it'll take for me to stop you.
Yeah,
put an end to you." And Yuhabaha with all due respect, says you're gonna die 3 steps short of that motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good, dude.
Yeah.
The exchange between these two is just it's just one after the other. It's fantastic.
It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
But then as they kind of keep going back and forth, there's like this moment where Ichibei can like control the names of certain things, and he starts talking about like,
don't blame me if you end up losing your voice.
Yeah. And then like he starts talking about how like your arms, he takes away the M in your arms.
So now all you got is R's.
Yeah, and they just don't work as
reduced
effectively.
to half of their original strength.
And then he talks about like the name of his sword. But then there's this really beautiful moment where Ichibei can like control the black, which I think is like the ink or like or just I guess whatever the black is in his
color
essence.
itself.
Right, exactly. So then like Yhwach he's a wise ass, and he's like, well, I'll take all your power. I'll take all the black out of you.
Yeah.
And then so like he like has a gray beard now, and he takes all the black out of like out of all that. But then like before that whole situation happens, there's this moment where Ichibei like takes half his power by like cutting his name in half or something like that.
And now he's just Yuha.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Right. And then like as he does that, that's whenever Yuha now
it's like
he claims all his power back again.
Right. He just absolutely obliterates just about all of his men, comrades, quote unquote, on the ground.
Yeah.
And at this point, his Stern Ritters, his Royal Guard, have been in dire straits in this cage, Matt. They're just on the brink of being killed. But, of course, we've seen this ability in action before. It's how Uryu's mother died.
Yeah.
After he reclaims his power, he's able to redistribute it to whoever he deems worthy.
Yeah.
So his Royal Guard are completely reinvigorated and buffed beyond belief.
But then to kind of go back to what's happening with Gigi and Loloda, like there's like a they're like they don't die, but like
they're able
power,
to avoid the beams themselves and survive, but their powers are still taken away.
Right. But I'm not sure if the other ones end up dying as well.
Right. We see a couple more of the Stern Ritters get hit by this beam.
Yeah.
Powers are leached away, but we don't see them die.
Right. The lesser guys.
Oh yeah, no, they're fucking skeletonized.
They get
nothing but bones left over.
That's crazy. So anyways, they get reinvigorated, and now he has more power than he can handle, and of course it gets real crazy.
And Ichibei is just like, man, you don't know how good you had it. I was being generous.
Yeah.
Imagine how bad your reputation is going to be once your Royal Guard sees you die at full power.
Yeah. That's hard.
Like, holy shit, man.
Yeah.
What else does this motherfucker have?
Dude.
One of my favorite bits is whenever Yhwach is like, I can just use to kill you.
Oh.
And he's just, Ichibei is like, what?
Excuse
what was that?
Me? You were about to say the name, weren't you?
Your sword doesn't have a name anymore, buddy. It's so fucking good.
Oh, man, it's so good.
So already we're dealing with what I would consider a fucking interstellar level threat.
Oh, my God.
This motherfucker is leagues above anyone else we've seen so far.
Right.
So he's able to take, like, after Yhwach takes, supposedly, takes his black ability, he tries to use it against Ichibei. Yeah. And he's just like we see it hit him, and after that he's got his original like hair pigment back, and he's just like, nah.
Yeah, no.
Doesn't work that way, Chief. Sorry about it.
I control all the black in the world.
Maybe you forgot.
Yeah.
So
maybe you forgot I'm him.
Right. So as this fight continues, Yhwach starts to notice something about Ichibei's brush.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's the matter? Can't tell if you're seeing a brush or a blade?
Yeah.
And as this fight continues, he's like, what the hell's going on? All it's doing is spraying ink everywhere. It can't even cut me. It's like, I don't even need to cut you.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I've got in store for you is so much worse. So, as we see this fight progress, Yuhabaha has been stained like pitch black,
Yeah.
like painted over.
Right.
All we see is his eye. We find out that in addition to taking parts of a name or taking a name entirely, he is able to rewrite
Yeah.
and give new names. So he decides to name Yuhabaha Black Ant.
Yeah.
Just because your power is nothing is like that of a little tiny ant crawling across the ground.
Yeah.
A fleeting existence of no consequence.
King of the insects.
Right. You're fucking nothing to me.
Dude, it's wild.
Uh-huh. So we see just the white lettering like splattered across his entire body.
Yeah.
And that's all he's known as now. And so after that, he picks his foot up.
Yep.
Ichibei stomps the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Big ass
Yeah,
fucking
big foot, yeah.
The spirit leg
Yeah.
materializes and just fucking plummets him
Yeah.
down to the like way down.
Yeah.
But not before Ichibei
Kicked out of heaven.
Right, exactly. Banished
Yeah.
from the realm of gods.
Yep.
Ichibei puts his hands together and Yuhabaha is crushed
Between
like
two
mid-fall.
spirit hands. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's all we got.
Yep.
That's where we leave off.
Yep. And
Like,
he's just like
Jesus
he's a
Christ.
black mist falling from heaven now.
Right.
And I was like, bruh,
Mm-hmm.
we just witnessed
Know your
Lucifer.
place, trash.
We just witnessed Lucifer get kicked out of heaven. I was like,
Oh
bruh,
my
this
God.
is wild.
Uh-huh. Absolutely insane. That's
Yeah.
not even the fucking best part,
Dude.
man. Ichibei's got more that you haven't even
Yeah,
seen yet.
and I'm
dude.
so excited,
It's
dude.
my favorite.
I'm ready to go, man.
Mhm.
This man, and there's also a couple of times where like he also has the same scary
Oh, yeah.
visage as Mayuri,
Mhm.
or what his name is,
Mayuri.
Mayuri.
Right.
Bruh, his like his
Motherfucker.
big old teeth too. He's like, that man never blinks.
Oh, yeah.
Ichibei is just like
He
he's
straight up loses his pupils
Dude.
at certain intervals whenever he like commits to killing this motherfucker.
Oh my
He's like, you
God.
give me no choice, man.
I'm gonna have to kill you, and it's like, oh,
Right.
that's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild.
Oh yeah.
I also love that he just comes across as like at first like he's got crazy eyes.
Mm-hmm. Oh
He
yeah.
comes across as just like a chill character as well.
Right.
But
Almost jolly,
yeah, but not
but you
anymore.
can tell
He's got
like beneath the
got-
surface, this motherfucker is enjoying
he's
it.
got the power of God behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, speaking of cool characters, what's the new squad captain? The headmaster captain?
Shinsui,
Shinsui, dude.
dude.
Oh, bro.
I can't. You don't even know, man. This
There's
motherfucker.
a point in time where he asked permission from like his cabinet of other officials, be like, "Is it okay if I leave this area?"
I gotta go grab a drink.
And it's like, what? At a certain point in time, it's raining, and everyone's like, "Where are you gonna go?" And he's like, "I'm just gonna go grab a drink." And it's like, dude,
Yeah.
how
I
cool!
cannot wait for you to see his ability, dude. It's so fucking cool.
I know that he got chosen as the
new head
headmaster
captain.
for a reason. I just don't know why yet.
Mhm.
And dude, I'm so here for it.
Man.
What was his squad before?
I
Or was he
don't
okay?
remember.
Now that he's over, I guess squad,
Squad
one,
one, yeah.
Jinx. Dude, man, that's and again the amount of times that we got the fights between again the Squad Zero and the Royal Guard is
Oh yeah,
so
it's
good.
insane.
They're going back and forth, dude. We're getting to learn all the secret abilities they have.
Right.
We're getting to see all the like inner workings of all this stuff. The only thing I'm concerned about is that at the end, whenever they like sacrifice themselves,
Right. The Stern Ritters, the Royal Guard, have been like
reinvigorated
roided out
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Yuhabaha's ability. They are able to completely overpower the rest of the members of Squad Zero.
Yeah.
So we find out that they have made a specific blood pact.
Yeah.
They've linked all their souls together to hide away their to basically put a limiter on their Bankai, because they
Right.
describe it as so powerful that all three worlds would tremble
Oh yeah.
at it, like in awe of its power.
Right.
So they decide on who gets to do the deed and finally get rid of all these motherfuckers. And it ends up being the seamstress, the
Right.
Grand Weaver.
Yep.
they all sacrifice themselves in order to let her go all out. And holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Does she ever, man.
Dude, it's wild.
Mm-hmm. She makes a very personal hell for each of these individuals.
Yeah.
Like to either seal them away or kill them entirely.
Right.
And man, it's fucking gorgeous. It's
great.
It's so cool. Like the initial like summoning of that big ass, like I don't even know what you'd call it. I don't know what the machine is. But it's just pumping
I think it's
out.
a loom, I think.
Okay.
Or something like that. That's what.
Yeah. So it's a giant golden loom.
Yeah.
That is able to thread these fabrics into these reality bending like prisons and death machines.
Crazy.
It's like it's a roundabout Iron Maiden.
Yeah, yeah.
And we just see them start falling one by one, Uryu included.
Yeah.
So, not looking good for the royal guard at the moment,
dude. What the god of the sword is it?
Oetsu.
Oetsu.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, all of them are so cool.
Yeah.
They have all their different like cardinal directions they're a part of as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, but they're, oh my God. Oetsu is just such a fun character because he's so wacky initially and he kind of still has that jovial aspect.
Oh, yeah.
And even though each one of the other Squad Zero members have their own like special thing they're doing, like the cage of wood and all these other like things that they're like doing. This guy comes up in here and like he pulls out his sword initially out of this vat of water, and dude, like he holds out his sword. And he's like wobbling initially, and everyone starts to kind of question his ability, and then he just like starts like vanishing.
Oh yeah,
before
he just takes them out one by one.
And bruh, the hardest shit, the hardest shit I've ever experienced, because it's just so badass.
Oh yeah,
is whatever the little hooded guy is. Whenever like they're all like clapping back and like, you know, they're all cocky and all that kind of shit or whatever, and then out of nowhere, just like a flash, the Oetsu's sword is sticking through the dude's face.
Oh yeah,
and then almost like he's catching up to his sword, is like lunging forward and then kicks it further into him. I'm like, oh my God. And like there's so many
pulling
things,
out all the stops.
I mean, dude, like in this moment, it's like that. It's like the scene from Attack of the Clones where you finally get to see Yoda just like whoop ass
go
out of
fucking
nowhere,
ballistic.
and you're like, bro, what is happening? It's the same thing of like, it's not to say he's like slow or old, but he's jovial, he's fun, he's the maker of swords. But then when he pulls out this like regular ass looking blade, and then he just starts like, oh, I'm gone, and you're like, you're dead. It's like, oh shit, this guy is.
But you appear to have been impaled.
This guy is the god of the sword for a reason. And then it's moments like that where he just like hucks that bitch.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, bro, what is happening? So that whole sequence with him is just so hype.
Oh yeah.
I'm so ready for more, and I don't know when it's gonna happen. It makes me a little bit sad.
We'll come back to it once the time is right.
Yes. But yeah. There's a handful of the Stern Ritters that I think are dead at this point.
Right. And those who are still alive back in the Soul Society aren't too happy.
Yeah, and I don't think they're gonna have any powers, if not mistaken. So
So we may see a bit of a rebellion brewing.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh yeah.
At a certain point I kind of
Busby and Dodo are not happy.
I don't blame them.
Right. But at the same time, I feel like they should have known.
100%.
Like, Yuhabaha made no qualms about treating his subordinates like they're nothing.
Yep.
He says they're comrades, but they don't. That clearly holds a different meaning for him.
He does not. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. Yep. Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Here we are. The finale. And it wouldn't be a Bleach episode if we didn't tiptoe on an hour and 20 minutes. So
that's fucking insane.
We've been keeping on
consistent.
Yeah, we've been keeping on true form. But in our defense, we got a lot to cover. We got a lot to cover. A lot of episodes we were hitting up, and I think that it was very worth it. Especially, dude, these fights, dude, are so good. The line, there's so many good hard ass lines.
Oh yeah,
it just, get me so hyped. And there's a fair share of disturbing and disgusting moments as well.
Yeah, no shortage
along the way. This more so than anything else. I may have been disgusted with As Not Before.
Oh yeah.
In a fun, artistic way, because I was feeling all the feelings of all the stuff. But this was just disgusting and like a you are truly a dreadful thing.
Being.
I don't even want to call you
disgusting cretin.
You're an it, and you're gross. You're an it, and it's gross.
Right.
Because man,
yeah.
Anyways, there's so many cool stuff. I'm so hyped. We got a Ride or Dies and a rocket flying up to heaven. Dude,
who knows what's gonna fucking happen?
Bruh. Dude, there's a moment also whenever he was talking about, having Ichibe was talking about like painting it black, and I just went I see a red door and I want it painted black. I was having a fun time with that for a minute.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, thank you so much for listening to us ramble about Bleach. Again, until the next volume comes out,
whenever the fuck that is,
we're gonna put a pause on it for right now. I return back to normal form and watch some other stuff.
Right.
We still got more
got to finish the
irresponsible
rest of
Captain Tyler we got to get through. There's stuff. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
If you can, I would really appreciate it if you were to subscribe or like. You can go to YouTube and type it at Hindsight Studios in the search bar, and you can find our channel there if you want to try and follow us and keep up to date with all of our good stuff. There, you also know how to just type in Aftermath on all the major podcasting platforms. You can find us that way too. Share us with a friend. Anybody out there in your life, if you're brave enough, anybody out there in your life that also likes Bleach, toss some of these episodes. Share us. Is there somebody else out there?
Get fucking reamed.
Is there somebody else out there that likes Orihime as much as I do? Because there's got to be somebody. Please, someone share that with me,
bro.
Oh my God, I would do anything.
You're gonna attract the goon squad.
Well, no, not like that. Come on, guys, let's be respectful.
Impossible.
It may be.
You're asking for the impossible.
I feel the same way about Beatrix. I'm like, I would do anything for her.
Yeah.
If that was ever, anyways, share this podcast. Let us know, and let other people in your life enjoy how wacky this is, and let's all laugh together. Let's all laugh at us having a fun time watching anime.
Right.
And being absolutely baffled by the women in Bleach.
Right.
It's positively ridiculous.
It's just not fair.
But until next week, thank you so much for listening.
See you.